Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at the solo for 21st Century Blues by Toto off of Toto XIV, which I can no longer say is their latest record. I've been saying that for the last few videos of Toto songs. But they've just released 40 Trips Around the Sun, so check that one out. There's a couple new songs on it and a lot of remastered of their hits, a lot of remastered hits. So this solo, when Luke talks about it, he talks about wanting it to be kind of like the Kid Charlemagne solo by Steely Dan that Larry Carlton did, often considered to be one of the greatest rock solos of all time. I'm inclined to agree. It's a great solo. And I really think Luke kind of captured that feel of, these odd, intricate chord changes, and while still feeling bluesy, but giving it this kind of outside feel. They did a really great job with that on 21st Century Blues. So let's check it out. We can break this down into some just different licks pretty easily. Not licks, but like sections of the solo. So our first section is all in kind of an F sharp minor sort of vibe. So we're going to start out on our 7th fret B string, bend that up a whole step, and then kind of release the bend and rebend. And then 5th fret E, 7th fret E, and then do that bend one more time right after that 7th high E, release the bend, after you release the bend, you're going to do 5, 7B, 6G, and then 5B, and then slide from 6 down to 4. It's a really quick slide. And then 2 on the G. So that whole lick together. And from there we move into kind of a G dominant shape, that kind of sound. And we're going to do a quick little slide from 2 to 3 on the D. It's really like a grace note, just to give it a little flavor. And what you do is 3 on the D, 2, 4 on the G, do it twice. Second time, don't do the little slide. Then you shift positions up to the 6th fret G, and you do 6G, 7G, 6B, 8B, and then shift again, bend your 10th fret B, and immediately out of that bend you got to roll that finger down to the G. Is 10th fret G, and then 8th fret B, land on the 9th fret G. From here you're going to do a little like Luke bend with the tremolo. So all you're doing is just kind of hitting the bridge. You've got to have a floating bridge to do this, otherwise you'll just have to quick little bend. But Luke does it. So second lick slowly. From here we transition into kind of a D major 7 sound, and we're going to start on C sharp here. So you're going to slide into that 6th fret G, and then do 7, 10 on the B, up to 9 on the E. Now that note you're going to hold it for a second, and then do a bend, and then strike it at the top of the bend, and quickly release it. Gives it a nice little feel there. And then land on that 7th fret high E string. And then it goes down a little B minor pentatonic run. B minor, of course, being the relative minor of D major, which is what chord we're on. So from there you're going to do a 10B, 7E, 7B, 7 or 10B, and then just down the scale starting on 9G, which is 9-7G, 9-7B. Now from here we move into a C dominant sound, which is, so you land on the 7D, slide up a half step, So that part is, let's see, 8D, 9G, 8B, 10B, 8E, 12E, and then a little trill, 8, 10, 8E, down to 11B, back to 8E, and then from there you're going to move your finger up so you can get a more dramatic slide down to the 5E. From there you will do a 8-6 on the B and down to 4 and bend that 4 up, kill it at the top of the bend. It's a nice little bluesy. And after you kill it, you're going to move down these little double stops. It's always the same frets on the G and the B, just little thirds moving down. Start on the 5th fret. You'll do 5, 4, and then 3. And once you get to 3, you're going to hit them and then kind of bend and scoop into the next one. So let's put that lick together. Let's see. This is a long one. Cool, so our next lick, we're going into kind of a C minor type of shape. Let's see. There we go. So up a C minor triad, which is 10D, 8G, and then slide from 10 up to 12G, and then back down to 10G. And then you're going to hit this 11B and kind of scoop into it with the bar. Back down to 12G. And then you do 12, 13, 12, 10, little trill kind of thing. Now this part is a little interesting. You're going to do 13A, 13D, 14D, and then skip up to 13B. And then you're going to bend your 15B, just a half step bend. And you do 3 bends, then hit your 12E, and then one more bend there, and then immediately you come back down to this 13D, and you're going to do a half step bend there. And then you've got to hit 13G, 13A, so it's all 13. You got to just get really good at rolling your finger there. So let's review that lick. And you can definitely use a lot of right hand to mute there, help you out so you don't get, because that just doesn't sound as good. So next lick, we come down to our 7th fret D string. You're gonna scoop into that, and then hit 2. This is all kind of A blues-ish. So you'll scoop into that, and then hit the 5th fret on the A twice. And then do kind of a slow bend on that 7. Let's see. And here's where it kind of leaves A, because we've got that B flat in there. I guess it's more of a C dominant, and there he's using A minor, the relative minor there. So what you're going to do, you do that bend, and then sorry, having to think about this. 5, 8, 6, 5 on the high E, and then 8, 6, 4 on the B, and same thing on that B, 4th fret B, you're going to bend that up a little bit, and then land on 5 G. So that lick all together. Now this final climb is all like B dominant. So you're going to scoop into each of these notes that you're going to play on the B string, starting on the 12th fret, and on top of that you're going to hit your 11th fret high E, and then slide that up, but you're going to leave a fret between them, so you're on 14B, 12E, and then slide that exact shape up to 16B, 14E, and the rhythm changes on this last one, so you do 16B, 14E, 17, 14, and then bend the 17, and do a little hit it, bend it, release the bend, back up. So that lick together. Throw a little vibrato on top, and that's the end of the solo. Now there are a few fills at the end of this song that are pretty cool, actually. Okay. So that's our first lick at the ending. You're gonna scoop into a 14B, up to 12E, hit that twice, and then back down to the 14B, and then we come down the octave. Just a little bluesy thing, and that's gonna be 11, 9, 11, and then bend, kill it, release the bend on 11, down to 9, and that's all on the G string, and then you land on 11D. The second of these, you're going to scoop up into a 12th fret B, and it's a pretty drastic scoop. You could even slide, and then scoop it one more time, and then you want to slide all the way down to 3rd fret B. And then slide that up into 5th fret, and then you just kind of walk down a arpeggio with some extra notes, which is going to be 3, 2 on the B, 4 on the G, 5 on the D, so 5 on the D, 2 on the D, 5 on the A, 2 on the A. And at that point, I know he's doing something else just super quietly that goes lower and then climbs back up, but I can't distinguish exactly what it is, and then it ends with a bend on the 5th fret D. You want to hit that and then kind of save all your bend till the very end. There's a little break, and then we have so that lick, you're going to bend your 14E just up to the G, half step bend, and that's all in E blues scale. So 12, 15 on the B, 14, 12 on the G, and bend that 12, and then 14, 12 on the D. And then he's doing this thing just using sixths to give it a super sexy bluesy sound, starting on the 14th fret, D and B strings. So you can just listen to that, follow that picking pattern. And hold both those notes out, give them some vibrato, that's what gives it the really bluesy sound. So from there it goes right into the next lick. Sorry, having to remember these as I go. So that's going to be 15th fret, high E, tiny bend on that. Not quite a half step. Down to the 12th fret, high E. And then 14B up to 17B. bend your 17 E, kill it at the top, and then 15, 17, and then pre-bend your 17, release it, and then land on 15 and give it a little bend. Now the next part is 17, 14 B, 15 E, 14 B, and then end with 17, 15 E, 17 B. And you want to kind of bend that down with your bar, and then you're going to land on that, what are we leaving at there, 20 B, and kind of let the bar scoop into that. So that whole bit together. That's that lick. The next one is going to start with a big bend on the 17th E. And I like to use this fingering just because it's kind of a quick transition. So you're going to bend that, kill it at the top, and then bend your 15 E, kill it at the top, and then just tiny bend 15 down to 17 B. And then you're going to do 16 G, 14 B, 17 B, 15 E, 14 B, 17 B. And you want to listen to him, which notes are held, which ones are cut short. That really adds a lot to the style. After that, so that's going to be 14B, 12G with a little bend, 14D, 11D, back up to 12G, and then 14, 12 with a tiny bend on the G, and then 14D, 11D. So that whole thing. Now we have one more lick. This one's pretty tricky. You're going to start out, yeah, so slide into the 12th B, bend your 14B a little bit, and then do a 12G that bends a little bit down into 14D. Second bit, so that's 2 12s on the B, up to 15 on the B, and then a bend on the 13G. And then we have this little run that goes all the way down the neck. So we'll break it up into chunks. So you're going to do 12, 15B, 13G with a tiny bend, up to 12B. Kill that bend, actually, not a thing. And then 12 on G with a bend, there's the bend. 14, 12 on the D, and then 14, 12, 11 on the G, and then just down the minor pentatonic scale, 14, 12 D, 14, 12, 10 A. So all together up to this point. And at this point you want to shift down, so your ring finger is on the 7th fret A. And that's going to be 7, 5 on the A, 6, 5, 3 with the bend on the low E. And the G, that guy lasts a little longer. And then you do the low open E up to an octave E, 7th fret A. 5th fret low E, 8th fret sliding into 9th fret low E. Up to 7th fret D. back to the 9th fret E, and then 10-7 on the A. Is that right? Yep, so after 10-7 on the A, you're going to slide up to 14D, and then land on 12G and give that some nice vibrato. And let me play that lick for you all the way through. And that is all the lead parts for 21st Century Blues.